Welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. Let's bring on board the management of Finolex Industries. PVC prices, a key component of Finolex Industries' business of pipes, of course, is now at a record high. What's more is, of course, input costs as well. Input costs have surged as well. So that is something that could dampen margins. Let's bring on board Prakash Chhabria, the chairman of Finolex Industries, to talk about this. Thank you so much, Mr. Chhabria, for joining us today on ET Now. You know, before I talk about PVC prices, which is, of course, something very important, let's talk about real estate sales. I think we've all the realty companies that we've spoken to, aided by Maharashtra's big stamp duty cut, and then, of course, the premium cut as well. It's seeing quite a revival. And it's not just realty, even the agri space. So what sort of demand trends are you seeing? What are the expectations going forward?
Since we keep talking about recovery and all that, we all know is because of COVID. And COVID did play a very big impact in all our lives. But Finolex being in products which are being used in the agri sector as the most common product, which is the first product which is required by a farmer, we did go to a dip. We did have our own dips, but our recovery, if you'll see during the second quarter, was very good. And the reason I attribute that to is because we sell across the country. The monsoons were good this year, so the demand has slowly picked up. We would have hoped that the demand would have picked up much faster. But again, with what has happened, how things are moving, we are very happy with the recovery. Going ahead, I think the agri sector will do good. And our second range of products is the non-agri sector. Non-agri sector does not necessarily mean going into malls or theaters. Non-agri sector pipes go into all kind of construction, whether it is housing, small housing, medium housing, whether it is offices. So if you see across the region, across our country, construction has come up in small parts. It started recovering. So hence, we feel that sector also will do good for us.
So the strong outlook for the upcoming Rabi season is, further expected to support rural demand. What sort of growth do you expect from the smaller towns, from rural areas in the next couple of quarters?
We should, in agri sector, look ahead a year. Looking ahead a couple of weeks or months is not the real thing. Looking ahead years. So what is happening on ground today is very positive. There are many states who have started doing a lot of high-tech stuff as far as drip irrigation is concerned. There are a lot of farmers going in for pipes for their requirements so that it makes them self-sufficient during the times when the rainfall is not there. We are looking at a lot of revival for the food product. And we are also seeing the government is giving a lot of impetus onto exports. So which I think over a period of time will make a good demand for our agriculture produce.
Mr. Chhabria, PVC prices have gone up by nearly 25% in Q3 FY21, and that's seen a sharp uptick largely on account of the global supply shortage. What are the trends that you're seeing, and how have your costs in tandem with that altered or moved?
Let us rewind a little bit. If we go back about 9 months ago, PVC prices had collapsed. They were at 50% lower than the prices today. So we did wear that brunt. We did have that inventory carry problems as in the losses which we bore. And slowly, if you'll see, PVC price start going up. Now, the reason for PVC price to go up to such levels is A, there has been a recovery in crude prices. B, because of the COVID situation, a global pandemic, there have been many plants which have been affected worldwide, either because of logistics reasons, because of manpower reasons. And PVC, which is produced in the world, is close to about 34 million tons. So it is a very small commodity. Globally, it is a very small commodity. Therefore, if at one time few plants close down, it does make an effect on the pricing. And also let us also not forget, the raw material prices to manufacture PVC have also gone up by close to 30–40%.
Okay, and what is the expected impact of the increase in costs on profitability on your margins in the near term?
If you see, the second quarter was a good recovery and it's a good bounce back. So going ahead, we hope we are able to maintain and perform well as well.
With the rise in RM costs and the given consolidation in the sector, will you be looking to pass it on to customers? And how easy is it to take price hikes in your sector and industry?
Pipe prices are always dependent on PVC pricing. And this has been a trend in our country for the last 20-25 years. And PVC prices depend on the global prices plus the US dollar rupee parity. So realistically speaking, it is a pass-through, but a pass-through with certain lags. So there are certain phases of the year, especially during the monsoon, where we do find it is difficult to pass on the price hikes. Generally, otherwise, we are able to pass it on maybe like after a week or 2 weeks delay. It is not necessary that happens immediately, but there are certain delays that we carry on as an industry.
So, yes, there is a spurt in rural demand, but there's a rise in raw material prices as well. To what extent can you pass on this increase in input costs while ensuring that your demand is not hampered?
I mentioned earlier, if this was the monsoon period, peak monsoon period, where the demand is subdued, then definitely doing any kind of price hikes would have been very difficult. But as the season is slowly opening up and we find that the demand is coming from the rural area, we are able to pass on the price hikes, not immediately, not to the fullest, but step by step.
And with the tight supply and higher prices of PVC resin, the regional and unorganized players are likely to face challenges. So what is the market share that you think the company will be able to gain in the second half of FY21?
There have been various reasons for the last 3-4 years where, if you see, unorganized has been facing issues like it started with demonetization, then it became GST, then became electronic wearables. Basically, if you are a disciplined manufacturer and you're paying your taxes on time and you're following the procedures, you shouldn't have problems. But what if you are somebody who is not following those things? Then you do face issues. So you have got various other issues other than just the prices of raw material going up. And that has what we feel has opened up the markets a little bit, not all of it, but opened up the markets a little bit. And some of the fragmentation is going away. But let's see over a period of time how things pan out.
Thanks much for your time. We'll let you go on that note. Good to have you on board with a quick view as to what Finolex Industries is up to. With news that we're at 50,000.